Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to elaborate a different kind of holistic type of subject for my GAF. Subject usually covers what are the 5 E's for students and what are the 5 E's for teachers. These E's are the must. If you don't follow as a student or as a teacher, then you are redundant. And your redundancy is going to definitely hurt the society, hurt the student, hurt every single thing. You must remember as a student or a teacher these 5 E's. For example, 5 E's of teachers are encourage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. 5 E's for student is excel, expound, employability, explore, and excellence. This, in a nutshell, is every single thing. It sums up all the motive of education, all the motive of all the purpose of the aim of the objective of teacher as well as the student. These 5 E's suffice teachers to understand what his or her obligation, responsibility, accountabilities are. And these 5 E's for student sums up the obligation and responsibility of every student to follow. If you are not going to follow this, then you are going to be haphazard teacher, haphazard learner. You are not going to have any proper or precise direction or precise destination to move forward. But you are going to be just flip-flopping and just doing nothing, just playing haphazard game without any kind of motive, without any kind of incentive, without any kind of objectivity, without any kind of aim or any kind of purpose. We are going to elaborate 1 E at a time. First, we are going to elaborate 5 E's for teacher. First is encourage. This is the most important duty, most important obligation of teacher to encourage the student to indulge in education. If they are not going to get encouragement from the teacher, then the students are not going to be real, attentive, alpha-minded student, but they would be all beta minus epsilon, wandering between home and the school, doing nothing, having no any kind of objectivity, having no any kind of intention or ideas to indulge in education. So encouragement is the most pivotal of everything the teacher does. Number 2, explore. Teacher must explore the student's ability, capability, potential, prowess, every single thing, and try to omit and commit. Omission of all the bad things, the evil things, the gory things that the student has in his mind, and commit the better things in the minds of the students so that the students are more encouraged towards education, it becomes more indulged in education and get deeper and deeper fetish in education. Point number 3 is explain. Teacher must explain every single thing to a student to his or her content. If a student is not contented, he is not going to or she is not going to have any kind of fetish in education, no any kind of keenness, no any kind of interest, no any kind of fondness in education. Satisfaction, contentment is the most important thing in education. Education should be edutainment. Every student should enjoy it. Every student should actually feel fulfilled by the explanation of the teacher. Elaborate. Don't give piecemeal education to your students who have very deep fetish and very deep appetite for education. Elaborate every single thing and elaborate. Excuse me, whatever you are teaching to the students are going to understand elaborately, and they are definitely going to swallow every single drop of erudition like elixir and satisfy themselves, and smile will be seen on their face that they really have taken the deep drought of education in themselves. As Alexander Pope has said, this is Castilian Spring. Castilian Spring, don't just test it. He has said beautifully, little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Test not. It's a drink deep. It's a Castilian Spring. So, this is elaboration. Next is evaluation. Now, as a teacher, it must be your responsibility to evaluate each and every student how they progress. If you are going to find out to your dissatisfaction that one student does not progress as good as the other students progress, then you must, not only should, you must focus your attention on this student. You ought to, you should, and you must focus your attention upon that particular student who is bit sluggish or bit slow in the trajectory of getting education. So evaluation is the most important thing. Every single student must be evaluated on the daily basis, diem per diem, week after week, fortnight after fortnight, and month after month. That is only the way you can actually become a bona fide, a de facto and de jure teacher. Now, next we are moving to 5 E's for student. First E for the student is to excel. Student himself must also evaluate himself and think that 1 week ago where I was and where I am now. 1 week ago what teacher taught me and what he teaches now. 1 week ago every single thing was so very shallow by the teacher as far as the teaching was concerned. Now it is in-depth teaching. He should evaluate the teacher. He must evaluate the teacher's progress, that how teacher is progressing in teaching. And at the same time, he should evaluate his own progress in excelling in education, that how fast and how far he has excelled. Then and then he would be able to understand that, yes, education penetrates in his soul and sanctorum. Point number 2 is expand. He must expand his range of getting education. He must not actually, say for example, my students, I will give you the example, it would sound better. My student comes very first day I teach him only 12 tenses. Next day, I move him to other points. Now, if I am actually going to put the same student in the same range, that this student is smart enough to know that there is no any kind of expand of education going on. Education doesn't get expanded. And the teacher has been teaching, like a couple of days ago, one of my students was saying that in his school, he has been going for 1 month, but they have taught him only 3 tenses: simple present tense, simple past, and simple future, in a haphazard manner. I know my kids are also in high school and elementary school, and I know what kind of progress they make. No, they don't make any kind of progress. Education doesn't get expanded. They just leave home, go there, they sit down over there, they leave school and come back home. And they give them tons of assignments just for the kids to bury inside that assignment all day long without memorizing everything. It's a rut. It is called rut. Next is employability. College students must remember this, that the kind of education they are actually deriving in any college, in the class, from the professor, it must have employability. This college students sit on the bench and think that whatever the professor has been pouring out on me, would it be helpful for me to get me a bread and butter in the society? Would I be able to use this education or abuse it? Will this education be capable and viable in the market, or it would be just redundant, absolutely obsolete education? They should think about this thing. And the compare and contrast, whatever they are learning in the school, high school classes or college classes. Employability must be the most important thing in their mind to judge, to evaluate. Evaluate the teacher and judge the quality of education the teacher has been showering on them. Next is explore. Students should also explore the teacher. Ask more questions, Albert Einstein has said. Education proliferates as long as students ask questions. Ask more questions about the subject the teacher is teaching. For example, teacher has been teaching HR in IMBA. So don't actually let the teacher just circle around the books, textual garbage, textual gibberish. But take him out of this and say, sir, explain us something, what is going on in the real world. Whatever you are explaining through the book, from the materials written by someone in this book, it's a bookish knowledge. It may be ancient knowledge, it may be parochial knowledge, it may be maybe very old and ancient knowledge. It may not be applicable today. So explain us, whatever you are teaching is applicable in the real world, real corporate world today or not. What is the difference between our HRM and the American HRM? What is the difference between our HRM and the Middle Eastern HRM? What is the difference between American HRM and the Japanese HRM? Ask more questions. This way you are going to explore your teacher, your professor is shallow or deep in depth knowledge he has. Point number 5 is excellence. Go for only excellent education. Only excellent education. Excellence in every single thing. Excellence in class, excellence in students, excellence in subject, excellence in communication, excellence in professor, excellence in his articulation, excellence in his teaching method, excellence in pedagogical prowess, excellence in every single thing. You deserve nothing but excellence. As a student, you deserve nothing but excellence. You must never settle for second fiddle education, inferior type of education. No. Absolutely, positively no, but nothing but nothing. Excellence is only the thing that you should chase after and you can make the dash for. So that's all it is. Thank you very much for listening. See you again next time. Until then, God bless everyone on this planet. Amen.